Hey guys, so Lloyd here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Shadowcat as she appeared in the Age of Apocalypse storyline. So of course that means she is from the Colossus Build-A-Figure wave, which, speaking of which, here is our Colossus Build-A-Figure thus far. Finally able to start putting him together. Got the arm from Iceman and the head from Sabretooth, which, update on that head, the little tassels on mine move around quite easily now. So it must have something to do with me heating the head up before I popped it onto the body, because it did not want to go. But now that it's on there, it ain't coming off. But this is looking like a pretty substantial Build-A-Figure, kind of rivaling Ursa Major and Armadillo for Build-A-Figure of the Year. We'll see how that turns out. But moving on to this figure's accessories, she does come with a pair of alternate hands, an open hand and I don't know what you call that. I don't want to call that a grip hand because I don't think anything would stay in it, but it's not an open hand either. It's like in between. And then she also comes with these extended claw bracelets, which you can just pop the hands out and swap these on. I'm not going to do that. I'll save that for final thoughts just to save time. But you can easily pop the hands out, swap those on, and give her giant cat claws a la Wolverine. Because there is 3 of them, and they do come out her wrists here. But just to show you that quick, you can just pop the fist off and slide this off. And since this is molded in black plastic, you don't got to worry about chipping any paint. I don't think anyways. But again, we'll save that for final thoughts. That, and it just takes up less real estate that way. And it's a little bit easier to maneuver around without those. But Shadowcat here. What a good looking female figure. I mean, it's not perfect. I think the boobs are still too dang small. The butt's a little better. I would say the butt's perfect. The back sculpt is really nice. I like the sculpt on the back. Lots of nice form to that. But yeah, this is a little bit better as far as a female Marvel Legends goes. I would say she has a little bit more of a female form, an adult female form, not a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old. Whatever. Excuse me. But yeah, I do appreciate that. They're starting to look a little bit more like a women as opposed to little girls. So that is nice. And I know there is no way of saying that without sounding weird, but you know what? I don't care. But as far as the head sculpt goes, nice head sculpt. I always thought she had a ponytail in this look and dark colored hair, not. This looks like the Karen cut, to be honest with you. It's getting there. But as far as articulation on her goes, she does have a double ball peg in the head, it seems. I don't think she has a disc hinge. No, it is a straight up double ball peg. It kind of feels like she has a collar thing going on here, but I can't tell. But you can rotate this all around. You can look up a little bit. You can look down a little bit. Tilt side to side. Nothing too crazy there. It does have a bit of shift to it. Shoulders go out to the side. They go back down. They rotate all the way around. Nice and tight. Single joint at the elbow with rotation. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge. Appropriate hinges on all the hands. Granted, she doesn't really have a grip hand, but you know what I mean. Diaphragm joint goes back a little bit. Goes forward a little bit. Although that's a little bit hindered. They could do a little better there, and not a lot of tilt either. Nice rotation, though. As a separate floating belt piece, but it pretty much stays in place. It doesn't really go higher than this, and it just kind of stays in place, so that's nice. She has the Lady Deathstrike legs, which have the wraps on them, so you can kick them out to the side a little bit, back down, kick them forward almost a right angle, or a little bit more so, without going out to the side. Thigh cut works fine. Double jointed knees works fine. Single hinge at the foot with the rocker. Works good. I will say, actually it seems like the bottom legs are a little glossier than the top, so maybe that's just a finish they threw on there, some paint. But I was about to say these do not match the legs, but they do. They match the lower legs. So yeah, really nice figure. I like the reuse of the Lady Deathstrike legs, which, do I have her handy here? I don't think I do. I think she's buried. Is that her? It's not her. Yeah, I don't know where she is. She is buried behind some Spider-Man and stuff, so I'm not going to make a mess to get her out. Take my word for it. Lady Death legs, or Lady Deathstrike legs, excuse me. I wish they were the Lady Death legs. But, yeah, clever reuse. Pinless, completely pinless, which I think works best for the females in particular. I don't mind it so much on the male figures, because the male figures are a little bulkier. They can make the pins smaller and hide them in all the sculpted detail. But the females, being as petite as some of them are, like this one, it's nice to have pinless joints because it just looks so much cleaner. And really, the quality is bar none. It's so much better than the pins. But with that being said, let's take a look at some comparisons. First up, here is Shadowcat. Next to the only other figures I've already taken a look at from this wave, we have good old Bobby Drake, a.k.a. Iceman, and Victor Creed, a.k.a. Sabretooth, who just an absolute beast of a figure next to Shadowcat in particular, but even next to Iceman, that thing is still a behemoth. Definitely one of the reasons why he's probably going to crack my top 10 Legends of the Year. Just a lot of bang for your buck there. Probably why they had to pack Shadowcat in this wave. Not only does she go with the Build-A-Figure, but she kind of compensates for Sabretooth being so freaking huge. That said, speaking of this wave, I did recently acquire Fabio Cyclops, as I like to call him, and Rogue. So the Colossus Build-A-Figure is complete. So stay tuned. We're going to be taking a look at the rest of the wave, with the exception of Magneto, that is, throughout the rest of the week. And last, but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus, the 11 Spawn, who as usual towers over everyone. So with that being said, time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and while I do think that this figure is a pretty solid figure as far as females in the Marvel Legends line go, particularly in this wave, I think it's a bit stronger than the Rogue even. That said, I think we still have a ways to go before we reach perfection as far as female figures in this line go, because while this is a strong one, stronger, it's still far from perfect. I think the bodies need work in particular. I think the legs and the arms are getting a little better. And even some of the sculpt on the body itself is quite nice, particularly on the back. But yeah, the boobs are still too small and so are the booties. So I'm going to sound like a typical dude in saying that, but at the end of the day, they are issues that need to be resolved. And while they're not as bad on this figure, there's still a lot of flat-chested Marvel women out there, and I just don't think that's how it should be. Especially when we're getting the Wonder Woman from McFarlane I took a look at last week. Have you seen that thing? Either way, if you want a really nice representation of Shadowcat from Age of Apocalypse, then by all means, look no further. This is, I think, the only, and as far as I'm concerned, the best representation of this character from that particular story arc. I know it's Kitty Pryde, but I gotta be honest, I think I prefer Shadowcat to Kitty Pryde. What do you guys think? But, that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one, because we've got to show that algorithm who's boss, right? If you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.